In this episode, we visit the Valley of the Eagles in Haines for the 11th annual Alaska Bald Eagle Festival. With over 3,000 bald eagles counted during the fall and early winter, the Chilkat Bald Eagle Preserve boasts the largest concentration of bald eagles in the world. We will explore this river valley and bring you face to beak with this majestic bird as we venture into the winter wonderland of Hains on this week's installment of Inside Passage. Hains is near the northern tip of a group of islands known as Alaska's Inside Passage. It is one of the few communities in this region that are accessible by car. The Haines Highway, once known as the Dalton Trail, was used by natives, fur traders, and gold miners. It connects to the Alaska Highway and serves as the southern gateway to Alaska. The Chilkat Bald Eagle Preserve starts 9 miles out of Haines and encompasses 48,000 acres of river bottom. 5 species of salmon spawn in this valley's rivers and streams. The Chilkat River is one of the last rivers to freeze due to a natural reservoir of warmer water. This open water, combined with an abundance of late-run chum salmon, attracts a large concentration of eagles. As the days get shorter and the nights colder, the supply of food for these large birds diminishes. They need to find as much food as possible to prepare for the winter ahead. This river valley provides that bounty. The autumn convocation of eagles draws bird enthusiasts, professional photographers, and adventure travelers. In early November, Haines is the site of the Alaska Bald Eagle Festival, a 5-day celebration organized by the American Bald Eagle Foundation. Like many small communities in southeast Alaska, the native Tlingit people originally settled Haines. The town's population swelled during the Klondike Gold Rush of the 1890s, when prospectors migrated here to seek their fortune. Haines reached its largest census when Fort Seward was built in 1903. Decommissioned after World War II, the fort was purchased by 5 veterans. Today, the buildings serve as lodges, restaurants, art galleries, and private homes. Other distinguished buildings that still stand include the Fort Seward Signal House, where Morse code messages were once sent and received. Many visitors who come to Haines for the Eagle Festival stay at the Commander's House, now known as the Halsingland Hotel. The hotel features a gourmet restaurant and is just up the hill from the American Bald Eagle Foundation, which is headquarters for the festival. For many businesses, including the Halsingland, the festival marks the end of their season. Haines sits on a harbor surrounded by several dominant mountains. It is home to a variety of animals and birds. Primarily a fishing town, there are several smokeries that will smoke and ship fish that were caught in the nearby waters. The festival features many activities that revolve around eagles. The activities include guided trips to the preserve to view eagles in their natural habitat, along with live bird presentations. Authors and artists are featured each year that specialize in raptors, such as hawks, owls, and eagles. Entertainment is planned for the evenings, while speakers are planned during the days. Amid all the activities, it is still the eagles, viewed in their natural and spectacular landscape, that steal the show. After the break, we venture out into the Eagle Preserve to watch these incredible birds. Whether renting a car or riding in one of the festival-sponsored tour buses, traveling to the Alaska Chilkat Bald Eagle Preserve is the main reason visitors come to this part of the world. The preserve is located at the council grounds between mile markers 10 and 26 on the historic Hains Highway. The Chilkat Valley and its mountains provide a breathtaking backdrop for viewing this natural drama. The actors in this play are the eagles themselves. Onlookers watching the behavior of the eagles are often mesmerized for hours. The largest concentration of more than 3,000 eagles is found near the 5 miles of open river that are kept from freezing by the natural reservoir of warmer water. Carrie Seifert has spent many years working with and rehabilitating wounded birds in Anchorage, Alaska. He describes some of the many eagle behaviors that are observed in the preserve.
A lot of times people will see out here on the river, you'll see eagles feeding on the sandbanks where they've caught the fish, and in most cases the fish are too heavy for them to get airborne. All they can do is drag them out of the water and drag them up on the bank. A lot of work. But occasionally they'll get a fish that they can catch and actually fly away with. And if they don't feel like sharing that particular day, it's not uncommon to see one up in a tree eating their fish. They'll feed on it until they're done, and one of the common behaviors you're going to see with eagles when they're done eating is they're pretty good about cleaning up. So one of the ways they do that is they'll rub their beak on whatever it is that they're standing on. We all come together during this time frame because we all, once again, have this affinity towards these bald eagles. We love to see them. We like to share with people what we know about them, and we all like to share what we've seen about them. And I think it's a great thing during this festival.
Five varieties of salmon are found in the preserve's 3 rivers. Tons of spawned-out salmon collect in the flats of the Chilkat Valley to feed all of these birds. So much food is available, the older eagles become less possessive and may share their fish with younger eagles and smaller birds.
They're also very social birds because the concentration of food source mandates that they get along with each other because they all have to feed off the same source. They're pretty good about coming in sometimes and sharing. You'll see an eagle come in and land next to another eagle that's eating on a fish, and that eagle will back away and the other one will scooch over, and before long the ravens will come in and they'll scooch up, and the eagle will get tired looking at the ravens and he'll give way to the ravens, and then another eagle will come in, and it's quite an event to watch the behaviors as these birds work out amongst themselves who's going to get to eat.
Weighing from 9 to 12 pounds with a wingspan of 7 feet, eagles require a lot of meat to sustain them. They feed constantly, filling up while the fish are plentiful. Through the harsh winter, their food sources will become scarce. Many of the birds stay year-round in the preserve to nest and raise their young. Fledgling birds remain in the valley with their parents for up to a year. The subadult eagles are sometimes confused with golden eagles because of their darker markings. Adult bald eagles don't develop their striking white head and tail feathers until they are 4 to 6 years old. The American Bald Eagle Foundation, a nonprofit organization, is dedicated to research, education, and conservation of the bald eagle and its natural habitat. Each year, the foundation schedules a series of events. It invites artists, authors, and photographers to give talks, sign books, lead tours, and teach classes on various aspects of raptor life. The eagles have inspired many artists and writers by their beauty and majesty. This congregation of eagles attracts a congregation of people dedicated to viewing and capturing the eagle's grandeur artistically. From hobbyist to professional, the participants of the festival have one thing in common: their fascination and respect for natural wonders and our national symbol. In the evenings, entertainment is scheduled for the festival attendees. Guests are treated to the local all-women's group of candle dancers. entertainment is wrapped up with the bluegrass group Hungry Hill from northwestern Canada. The Bald Eagle Foundation joins other foundations dedicated to similar goals. The Juneau Raptor Center and the Bird Treatment and Learning Center are both involved in events at the festival. Each organization sends representative members and birds to give live bird presentations and lectures. Attendees get the opportunity to see up close a variety of birds that were injured and rehabilitated and to learn more about them. The Bald Eagle Howl is one of the stars of the event. Each of these organizations also brings rehabilitated birds to be released back into the wild. The release ceremony takes place near the end of the festival and is a high point with the hundreds of people in attendance. The inspiring release of eagles back into the wild when the Inside Passage continues. It is clear that something about the eagles touches people deeply. Near the end of the festival, hundreds of people gather to see several birds released back into the wild. Seeing it fly back to freedom moves many to tears and smiles.
Many people come out, hundreds come out to watch this eagle get to go back to the wild. It makes everybody feel really good to see a bird go back out into the wild where it's supposed to be. It's kind of hard to put into words what that does for your heart when you get a chance to see it. A lot of times there's not many dry eyes out there. A lot of people have put in a lot of hard work to try and rehabilitate these birds and get them back ready to go back to the wild. There's a lot of tears shed normally on those days, but it's happy tears. They get to go back to the wild. And I can't really describe the feeling when you see that bird that's been in captivity get rehabilitated and now it gets to launch and go back out into the wild, catch the wind, and you hear them cry out. It's a good thing. Camera's ready, and once again, everybody, if the eagle comes to you very low, my advice would be duck.
The eagle figures prominently in the Tlingit culture. The Tlingits have lived here with these magnificent creatures for thousands of years. They were the first to forge the trail that is now the route for the Hains Highway. They know and respect this land and its many animal inhabitants. The Bald Eagle Foundation and other organizations have adopted this frame of mind and are working to educate people about this unique place. Like no other place on Earth, the Chilkat Valley, with its 3,000 plus eagle visitors, is a resource to be cherished and preserved.
I've been involved with the Alaska Bald Eagle Festival for 5 or 6 years. It's a tremendous experience to come to Hains every year, go out to the preserve and see thousands of eagles. This is really the only place in the world where you can do that. And if you get snowy weather, that's one. beautiful aspect, and if you get a sunny day, it's also very spectacular. You really can't beat being here.
Hains is a beautiful place. It offers many activities for the outdoor enthusiast: fishing, kayaking, heli-skiing, and this time of year is wonderful with the convergence of the eagles in the Chilkat Valley.
We find reference to eagles and humans as far back as biblical times, and that's the way it was in our country when we became in the United States and were looking for a national symbol. We wanted something that we felt displayed power and courage and freedom and all of those traits that we like to identify with, and certainly beauty. And so when you look at that bird, you can see all of that. When you see it fly, when you see it hunt, you can feel all of those things when you're just watching the bird. And I think that has a great deal of why we feel so in tuned and attracted to them.
For more information on the festival or to make a contribution, please contact the American Bald Eagle Foundation. For information about the Eagle Rehabilitation and Release programs or Raptors in Schools and other educational programs, contact the Juneau Raptor Center or the Bird Treatment and Learning Center. Thank you for joining us in the Valley of the Eagles, another natural treasure of the Inside Passage.